discipline your focus and you elevate your life. It's not just a phrase, it's a foundational truth. The difference between mediocrity and greatness lies in where you place your attention and how relentlessly you protect it. Focus is not something that just happens to you. It's something you decide on, something you train, something you discipline. And when you discipline it, everything changes. Most people scatter their energy chasing distractions, entertaining every urge, responding to every ping, every notification, every fleeting thought. But the ones who rise, the ones who build something powerful with their lives, they choose differently. They understand that the mind is a powerful weapon, but only when it's pointed in the right direction. Discipline isn't about restriction. It's about choosing your mission over momentary comfort. It's about saying no, not just to distractions, but to everything that doesn't serve your vision. When you discipline your focus, you take back control. You stop drifting and start designing. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. There is freedom in discipline, freedom from chaos, freedom from overwhelm, freedom from regret, because focus clears the noise, it clarifies your purpose, it reminds you what matters most and empowers you to take steps toward it every single day. Elevating your life doesn't come from luck, it comes from clarity, it comes from execution. And clarity comes when your mind is no longer split in 1,000 directions, when you can look at your goals with tunnel vision, when you can lock in with unshakable intensity. That's when breakthroughs happen. That's when ideas become results. That's when dreams stop being dreams and start becoming reality. But let's be real, it's not easy. In a world built to distract you, staying focused is a radical act. It's a decision you have to make again and again. You'll feel the pull to quit, to scroll, to numb out. But every time you resist that pull, every time you discipline your focus, you're sharpening your edge. You're strengthening your inner power. You're building a life others only wish for. Discipline is the gateway. Focus is the key. Elevation is the result. The climb might be steep, it might test you. But that's the point, because no one stumbles into greatness. You rise because you were willing to focus on what mattered long after the motivation faded. You rise because you refuse to let your attention be stolen by what's urgent instead of what's important. You rise because you built the muscle of discipline, one decision at a time. Your future demands that you get serious about what you give your attention to. Elevating your life means focusing on growth when it's boring. It means showing up when you don't feel like it. It means holding your vision when the world tries to distract you. But if you can do that, if you can commit to this level of focus, then there is no limit to how high you can rise. The view from the top doesn't come to those who dabble. It comes to those who lock in. So discipline your focus, elevate your life. Everything you want is on the other side of that decision. Focused discipline is the foundation of lasting transformation because it is the consistent force that shapes chaos into clarity, potential into progress, and goals into reality. Without it, even the strongest intentions collapse under pressure. Dreams fade when they're not backed by daily execution. No matter how passionate or inspired someone feels in the beginning, that emotion will eventually wear off. What remains is the ability to stay committed when the excitement disappears. Focused discipline is the skill that keeps you aligned with your mission, no matter how you feel or what distractions try to pull you off course. Most people don't fail because they don't have talent or opportunity. They fail because they lack the discipline to stay focused on one course long enough to see the results. It's easy to start something new, to get hyped about a fresh idea or a new path. But the power isn't in starting, it's in finishing. And to finish anything worth building, discipline must become a daily habit. Focus is the compass and discipline is the engine. Without both working together, progress stalls. Discipline channels your attention toward your highest priorities and demands that you act in alignment with them, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Lasting transformation doesn't happen overnight. It is forged in repetition and sacrifice and in the willingness to do the unglamorous work that most people avoid. This is where discipline becomes the difference maker. It forces you to show up again and again when the path is unclear, when results aren't immediate, and when doubt starts whispering that it might not be worth it. It trains your mind to focus not on the outcome, but on the process, because the process is where you grow. The process is where you get sharper, stronger, and more committed to the future you want to build. Discipline makes you dangerous to your limitations. It removes the excuses, the distractions, and the tendency to chase comfort instead of growth. It teaches you that comfort is the enemy of greatness and that everything you want lies just beyond the boundary of convenience. Focused discipline takes all the energy you would have wasted on scattered, reactive efforts and funnels it into intentional, high-impact action. You don't just work harder, you work smarter. Every decision becomes a vote for your future. Every disciplined moment compounds, stacking invisible bricks until one day you look up and realize you've built something real, something unshakable. This kind of transformation doesn't scream. It doesn't demand attention. It builds in silence. It happens when no one's watching, in early mornings, late nights, uncomfortable conversations, and difficult choices. Focused discipline gives you the ability to keep moving forward when it's easier to quit. It gives you control over your own direction, so you're not swayed by every new trend, distraction, or external opinion. You develop tunnel vision for what matters and start eliminating everything that doesn't contribute to your growth. True transformation is not about changing your life once. It's about never going back to the person you used to be. That kind of lasting change only happens when discipline becomes your default. You train your focus to say no, not just to distractions, but to the old version of yourself who tolerated less, who accepted excuses, and who settled for average. Every moment you choose discipline over ease, you rise. You become the person your future requires you to be. And that future, it doesn't come to the wishful or the waiting. It comes to those who are willing to pay the price in focus, in discipline, and in sacrifice. When you live with focused discipline, you stop negotiating with your goals. You stop asking if it's worth it and start proving that it is through action. You stop giving your energy to things that drain you and start investing it into actions that build you. Lasting transformation is not for the impatient. It's for those who are relentless, not because they never fail, but because they always return. Discipline doesn't make life easier. It makes you stronger. It doesn't remove resistance. It prepares you to push through it. Focused discipline rewires your habits, your thoughts, and your identity. And once it becomes who you are, transformation is no longer a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That's the power of focused discipline. It is the unseen force behind every breakthrough, every reinvention, and every victory. It doesn't demand attention. It delivers results. Distractions are the enemy of destiny because they silently steal what is most valuable: your time, your attention, and your energy. Every moment you spend distracted is a moment taken away from the path you were born to walk. Distractions don't show up with sirens or warnings. They come quietly, disguised as harmless detours, simple tasks, or quick breaks. But over time, they add up. They become habits. And those habits shape your life in ways you don't even realize until it's too late. The danger isn't in one distraction. The danger is in the accumulation of them. They don't just delay progress, they destroy it. In a world overflowing with noise, staying focused has become a superpower. Social media, endless notifications, binge-worthy entertainment, constant updates, all of it is designed to pull your attention in 1,000 directions. And every time you give in, every time you allow your focus to fragment, you move one step further away from your potential. You may still be busy. You may feel like you're doing a lot, but business is not progress. Movement is not momentum. You can run fast in circles and get nowhere. That's what distractions do. They keep you active but not effective. They make you feel productive while robbing you of purpose. Distractions don't always look like obvious time wasters. Sometimes they show up as other people's priorities. Sometimes they wear the mask of urgency, things that feel important but mean nothing to your mission. Other times, distractions come from within. Fear, doubt, comparison, overthinking. These are all internal distractions that drain your mental clarity. They whisper lies like, "You're not ready, you'll do it tomorrow," or "What if you fail?" And every time you entertain them, you lose another piece of your momentum. Your destiny doesn't require perfection, but it does require presence. You cannot build the life you want while constantly living in reaction to everything around you. If your focus is always being hijacked by the latest crisis, comment, or convenience, you're not leading your life. You're being led by it. Distractions are seductive. They promise quick pleasure, easy escapes, and instant gratification. But what they cost you is far greater than what they give. They steal your depth. They dilute your commitment. And over time, they erode your belief in what's possible. Clarity is the antidote to distraction. When you know who you are, what you want, and where you're going, it becomes easier to say no to what doesn't align. It becomes easier to protect your time and energy like the precious assets they are. People often talk about time management, but the real game is attention management. Where your attention goes, your life flows. If you give your attention to drama, doubt, and distraction, you'll build a life of confusion and chaos. But if you direct it toward vision, action, and purpose, you'll build a life of meaning and mastery. The most successful, fulfilled people in the world are not the ones with the most talent. They are the ones who have mastered the art of ignoring what doesn't matter. They don't chase every opportunity. They don't try to please everyone. They don't entertain every notification, distraction, or opinion. They stay locked in on their mission. And because of that, they move further in 1 year than most people do in 10. You can't afford to live in distraction. You can't afford to give your power away to things that don't serve your growth. Every time you choose distraction, you delay your breakthrough. You delay your transformation. You delay the results you say you want. But every time you reject distraction and choose focus, you make a deposit into your future. You cast a vote for the person you're becoming. You separate yourself from the masses who are too addicted to noise to hear their own calling. It's not about being perfect. You'll stumble. You'll get pulled off course. You'll have days when your mind wanders and your discipline slips. That's human. But the key is awareness. The key is recognizing when you've drifted and snapping yourself back into alignment. The faster you can do that, the more powerful you become. Focus isn't a gift, it's a choice. And it's a choice you have to make over and over again, especially when it's hard. Especially when distractions seem easier, more fun, or more comfortable. There's a version of your life that's waiting on the other side of your distractions. A version filled with purpose, power, and progress. But you'll never meet that version if you keep letting little things pull you away from big goals. Your destiny deserves your full attention. Your dreams are not side projects. They are sacred, and they require the full force of your energy. That's the price of greatness. That's the price of freedom. You can have the life you want, or you can have your distractions, but you can't have both. The moment you declare war on distraction is the moment your future starts accelerating. Because when you protect your focus, you protect your future. And when you eliminate distractions, you clear the runway for your destiny to take off. Motivation is a spark, powerful but fleeting. It can ignite action, but it doesn't sustain it. One day you feel inspired, ready to conquer the world, energized by a quote, a video, a goal. The next day that fire dims and suddenly